In 2022, I gave up $263,000 of stock options and commissions to leave corporate America. Here's my corporate escape story and how to overcome the 4 levers that corporate will use. So first things first, you're probably wondering, did it work out for me? Am I living a cool life right now? And that will come later in the video, don't worry. But I'll give you a spoiler alert. I'm still okay. I'm not living on the side of the road and I'm not wearing a shirt and tie anymore. So A-okay. But before we get there, let's start back. I graduated college and did what all of you do, which is go into corporate America. For me, I was in B2B sales, so I sold business to business. My actual thing that I sold was uniforms. I was really good at selling uniforms, of all things. I was number 8 out of 5,079 in a Fortune 500 company. I was the guy in my mid-20s that they were grooming to become a sales manager, then a vice president of sales. And they were giving me all these grand plans for who I was gonna be in my 40s and how much money I was gonna make. And so when I was in my mid-20s, I was making $250,000 a year, which doesn't suck. But I had plans for a bigger and better life. I wanted to travel around the world with more than 2 weeks of PTO. I was truly an entrepreneur locked in a corporate cubicle. Long story short, I started investing in real estate, buying and building businesses of my own. And in 2022, I was able to exit that job. But the point of this video is there was a giant, hairy boulder blocking me from my goal of traveling around the world. And that was the stock options and my bonuses that were just chilling, waiting for me to collect. I had to make a decision. Because after finally doing my first trip international to Italy, I used up all my PTO. Best friend had a wedding later that year and I had to miss it because I ran out of my 2 weeks. And so that was when I drew the line in the sand and decided, hey, I want something more for my life. So now let's get into the 4 levers. Lever number 1 is fixed debt. And this is the number 1 lever that corporate America is subconsciously pulling on you that you don't even realize they're pulling today. To illustrate this, I'll share a story. The boss invites an employee over to his house and he says, I want to show you something, son. And he takes him outside to his garage and he sees this brand new gleaming red Ferrari. And the boss goes, you see that one right there? And the employee goes, oh my God, it's the greatest car I've ever seen. Boss looks at the employee, you know, if you work really hard, one day you may buy me 2 of these. It's a good example of working harder for somebody else and somebody else's company isn't gonna make you rich. And so what corporate America wants to do though, is make you feel rich and make you spend like you're rich. So I had a sales manager one time that told me, you know what I really do to motivate people? I want them to buy the biggest house. I want them to buy the nicest car. I want their kids to go to the nicest private schools that exist. And if we can get that to be true, you're gonna have so much debt coming in per month that no matter what we do with your comp plan, with your salary, with your position, you're never gonna be able to leave. And that's where they get you. What I did personally to overcome this is even when I was making $250,000 per year, I kept my fixed expenses as low as possible. Now, I still spent money. I still traveled domestically in the United States a little bit. Fixed debt is gonna be your houses, your cars, your watches, stuff like that. And so what I did was I bought rental properties. Basically, I had no housing expense. So that is how I overcame fixed debt. But the moral of the story and the biggest lesson here is always remember that freedom is found in margin. Doesn't matter if you make $200,000, it matters what you keep. That is how you get your freedom. Lever number 2 in corporate America is stock options. Stock options aren't bad. As a business owner today, I use stock options to keep my people. And I want to give you an example from both the employee and the employer side of how stock options work to keep you. Anybody that's in sales knows about President's Club and normally Diamond level. President's Club in any sales organization is the top 15% of reps, and Diamond level is the top 5%. So I was number 8 out of 5,079 reps, which put me Diamond. And what happens when you get Diamond? You get stock options. And so what corporate does is they don't give you access to all of those options day one. They don't give you access to all that equity day one. It vests over 3 years. So the reason behind that is they want you to keep high performing. They want you to keep producing. And so that's a carrot that they're gonna dangle in front of you, and that's what they did with me. So when I won these awards, I had over $200,000 in stock options that weren't gonna vest for a couple of years. Whenever you are making your decision about whether it's the right time to leave corporate, there's just a line in the sand that must be drawn where you have to answer the question, what am I willing to give up to achieve my goals? This is the part of the story of entrepreneurship that nobody talks about on YouTube. Nothing comes for free. You have to give up cheeseburgers, french fries, and beer if you want to get a 6-pack. And for me, I had to make a decision of, if I give up this $200,000 whenever I decide to leave, do I believe I can proportionally make that up in my own companies, in my own investments, doing my own thing? And so if I was you, what I would do is I would sit down and I would write out a vision for what I want to build, what I want my life to become, and you have to make sure that it's at least 10 times worth more than the stock options that you're giving up. And so I wrote out my $2 million, 3-year vivid vision where I was making millions of dollars in my own company, traveling around the world, worth 10 times more. The third lever corporate America pulls is your commission is delayed. And so you don't get paid the day you make the sale. You get paid in your bonuses the quarter after you make the sale. And so here's what happened for me. For a year, I planned to leave corporate America. And for a year, what did I do? My job. I made more money. I made more bonuses, I made more commission. And that commission was always delayed a quarter, and that bonus was always delayed a quarter. So that was the extra $63,000 that in March of 2022, I had to look on a piece of paper literally in front of me. I have to give up $263,000 here, $200,000 of stocks, $63,000 of commission and bonuses from deals that were already done, already wired to me. I was just waiting for them. But I knew that if I left, they'd be immediately forfeit and immediately void. So what do you do? Because this is how your comp plan is created. And again, it goes back to that vision. If you do not have a compelling enough vision, a dollar amount to that vision that pulls you forward, how the hell are you ever going to leave the comfort and security of having the money that's already clocked, that's already booked, the check already has your name on it? The lesson here is there's only 2 ways that you can quit your job. You either have enough pain that forces you to make a change in a plan, or you have a compelling enough vision for your future that pulls you forward into a plan. And this is called push motivation versus pull motivation, which leads us to lever number 4, the fourth and final lever, which is promotions and politics. As soon as I turned in my resignation notice, my boss, my VP, everyone started calling me in the company. And they said, dude, what are you talking about? You have this promotion. You have this trajectory. The corporate ladder is laid flat for you. What are you talking about, man? This is all the stuff that you're gonna make. This is the best piece of advice that I can give to anybody watching this, that you stayed this long in the video to get. Look at your boss's boss. Best way to overcome this. Look at what they do. Look at who they are. Look at the life that they live. Look at the comp plan that they have. I looked at my VP of sales, but he was missing his daughter's grow up. His schedule was 15-minute Zoom calls in increments back to back to back all day. No time freedom, no travel. And candidly, he only made $100,000 more than me. That was all stock options, which again, keeps you for an extra 3 years. So I was like, if I work my tail off for the next 5 years, best case scenario, that's gonna be me. And so if you look at your boss's boss, it's a great way of knowing, is the politics and promotions game a game that you actually want to play? And so at the end of all of this, I did end up making the decision to leave corporate. I did end up giving up $263,000 of compensation. And yes, it was the scariest moment of my life in March of 2022. And I will say this, year 1, every single one of your friends and family and coworkers will call you crazy. Year 2 of entrepreneurship, they will call you lucky. And year 3, they will call you for freaking advice because they have no more excuses left in the book to say why they think you're gonna be a failure. So it's really about just taking the leap, making the plunge, and saying, I'm drawing a line in the sand, this is what I'm gonna do. What I ended up doing in 2022 was traveling full-time around the world where I built my first business. I've built 4 more, bought 4 more companies, building a boutique hotel in South Florida right now, 4 years out of corporate America. And so I'm here to tell you that it's worth it. All of it just predicates on having a plan in place. And it all starts with recognizing these 4 levers that corporate America pulls and being able to use that same logic back against them so that you can build a life of design and freedom where you're building your business around your life, not your life around your business. And so if you want to learn more about that strategy and those plans that I've created, give us a follow, subscribe to our channel. This is what we talk about. We help high-performing corporate employees escape the rat race so they can do what they want, when they want, with who they want. I'm Luebben. Thank you so much.